Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So one of the things that I've been thinking about with the whole thrive where you reside sort of mentality is actually of our house. So I've complained to you guys several different times about the small size of our kitchen, how it's not very functional and things of that nature. So one of the things that Tracy and I have been doing over the last, I want to say 2 weeks, has been really brainstorming of trying to figure out a different layout for our kitchen to make it so that way it's more functional. So with homesteading, as you could imagine, we spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and a lot of time throughout the summertime, we're both needing to be in here working on prep stuff, canning stuff, cooking different things, and just, harvesting a lot of stuff. There's a lot of kitchen work that happens when you're homesteading, as you guys could probably imagine. So having a kitchen that's less than ideal, less than functional, and doesn't work for having more than one person in it is kind of a big deal. So one of the things that we've done was when we originally got the place where our stove is at currently, which kitchen needs cleaned, I'm in the middle of doing renovation stuff, so it's kind of silly to work on cleaning stuff when I'm going to be making drywall mess here soon. So forgive me for being a human. So one of the first things that we did when we bought this place was the fridge was originally supposed to go where our stove is at currently. We have a very large fridge, so it was too tall to fit here. So we also didn't like the idea of where the stove was originally supposed to go in this household, which was right over in here. So we swapped the stove, we swapped this fridge out because our stove obviously could fit underneath these countertops here. And then the fridge, we had to cut off some of the cupboards that were up here, just so that way there was clearance for the fridge. So we thought that this idea was going to make things really nice, functional, and just good. When we moved in here, we moved from a camper to here, so this was like a ginormous space, and we were just thrilled to have a full-size kitchen instead of just a little teeny tiny dinky camper oven. So at first it did work really well, but since we've been here for a while now, almost 2 years, it's been like one of these things where we're like, oh, get out of the kitchen, please. I need to get there. Can you move? Can you move? And it's just something that's very frustrating, especially since getting larger dogs instead of having the little dogs that we did have. They did pass away, so it wasn't like we were like, get out of the house, nothing like that. It was very sad, very traumatic. But anyways, so it's made things very complicated, and we feel very scrunched in this space. So we did decide that we do like where the stove is at currently over in here. It's right next to the sink, right next to the dishes, all that stuff. Everything is centered around there. And I am going to, in the laundry room addition here, I'm going to build a nice countertop that goes over in there. So that's going to be a nice good bit of storage space for produce, and then also for prep space to have an additional countertop and yada, yada, yada. So the thing that actually was throwing us off was, where do we put a dishwasher? Because as you guys know, we got a good deal on this. It was actually 6 months ago during the Ohio tax-free week thing. We saved, I think, $80 total on this dishwasher. So we bought it then with assuming that at some point we'd put it in, just not knowing where. So originally it was going to go over here, but then we added in the baseboard heater down there, so we couldn't do it there. And then we changed our mind and we were going to put it underneath the countertop here, but the countertop doesn't come out far enough, so then I would have to build a weird bulkhead. It was just crazy complicated. So then we thought, oh, okay, well, we'll put it over here next to the washer and dryer. Also kind of a wonky place because the sink is way over there, so you'd have to traipse through the whole kitchen. Nothing flowed, okay? So we finally, on a very drunken night, we decided, you know what? We could just move the fridge. It was like one of those big epiphany, aha type of things. It's funny how things work. So we ended up doing that over the weekend. We moved everything around in the house pretty much to pull one fridge out, move the other fridge over to where the black one is now, and then we ended up putting the dishwasher over in here. So this is actually going to create a much better flow to be able to work in the kitchen, because I'm going to actually add in a countertop here. I'll have to build the framing out for it. I have to patch that hole in the wall there. Like I said about making a big mess with drywall dust and drywall mud and all sorts of fun stuff. And then I'm also going to build in floating shelves up over in here to store different dried goods. So that's one of the things that with homesteading you have to look at if you're looking at a new property, is really pay attention to the kitchen. Because while there is a lot of additional cupboard space, like up high, there's cupboards up there, nice bit of storage. For a normal human, this kitchen would be amazing. But for someone that homesteads that has a lot of things, like a lot of big bowls and canners and stock pots and things of that nature, there's not space to put anything. So that's something that definitely keep into consideration if you guys are starting this whole journey out. But so one of the biggest things that I'm excited for is to actually get a countertop over in here. This dishwasher here, as you can imagine, is quite a bit smaller than our mega fridge. So the fridge actually used to come all the way to here, making it very difficult to get in and out of the basement door because there's also like a countertop right here. So the Simba's very happy to have this dishwasher here that he can hop up there, not get yelled at for being up on the counter or anything of the sort. But it makes it a lot nicer because how it was originally where the microwave is, you pretty much had to do this number to squeeze in there to try to get any access in and out in the fridge. And it was really frustrating. So since we did this, it feels almost like our kitchen has just like grown massively in size. And it just feels way better and way more open. It has much better flow of energy to it too. So it's just a lot better, a lot happier, a lot more comfortable. So that's something that I've been thinking about with the whole thriving where you reside sort of mentality, is to try to figure out what works for us in our space and what isn't working for us, and what we can do to sort of change things, tweak things, and make it so that way whatever isn't working suddenly becomes something that works really well. So I'm actually quite jazzed to be able to get the countertop done in here because it will actually match the feature wall in the living room, which I will zoom over there and show you guys. So aesthetically speaking, I'm going to use the same boards that came from my grandpa's farm to make the countertop that is going to be in the kitchen. So I think it's going to be a nice paying homage to what's in the living room with the wood stove and the hearth and all that stuff. And then also to the past, to my ancestral line, and also just to make something really rustic and beautiful to sort of tie everything in together. Because I think with having a lot of bright and airy colors, it can sometimes make the house feel kind of cold and empty and just too airy. So that's kind of my thing. I want to sort of root everything down, ground everything back down, instead of having all the beachy vibes and the bright colors and all that stuff. I want something that's sort of gonna anchor things back in and ground things back in. So anyways, that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed this content, please give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends on social media. If you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.